followed by a slew of podcast. Listen, we are on season 4, episode 32?
32, I want to say.
32. Boom. We're busy doing shit.
Wild.
But you got me, and you have Squishy, so, names, wow, somewhere they exist. And then we're gonna go boink! And we have Shadow, and we got J-Buns, who got VRC Plus just so he could half-body this moment. His fingies.
I got fingers.
Man's got fucking desky fingers before GTA 6, bro.
I got fingers before you.
Alright, listen, okay? We don't gotta go that far.
I never thought I'd hear men be so proud to have fingers.
Listen, we work hard for our fingers, thank you.
Well, so do the lesbians. Anyway.
We don't need to bring
half
that up.
of them are regarded as men.
But, alright, I've gathered...
Bring that up.
We do need to bring that up. It's a workout.
We don't.
We're bringing it up. Too late. I brought it up. Anyway, I have found 3 stories. One of them we're not going to read. I think based off of her reaction that she had earlier in the Discord call, I'm probably going to do that one because it's funny as fuck. But
Oh, it was funny as fuck.
we'll start off light-ish for now, right? So for those who don't know, weddings are on the brain, weddings are on the mind. My wedding's officially 6 months out, so that's all I'm thinking about. We were literally doing save the dates before we got onto VR. So there's a wedding story, because now that's my entire fucking Reddit feed. But this comes from Am I the Asshole? And it's, am I the asshole for untagging myself from my guy best friend's Instagram post after he cropped my fiance out of our engagement pictures? So I got engaged 2 weeks ago, me, 25 female, and my man, 27 male. We're on this Napa trip with a few close friends, including my best friend, Jay, 26 male. We've been tight since college, always just friends, never anything else. Anyway, my man proposes during the sunset in the vineyard. Super cute, private, perfect moment. Jay takes some pictures of us right after, and one of them, straight fire. I'm crying, he's hugging me, ring popping, looks straight out of a damn commercial. Cool, cute, whatever. Then this dude posted on Instagram, but he crops my fiance out. Like, bro, what? Just me in the pic, no caption like congrats or happy for you. Just straight up posted it like it was a solo shoot. No tag for my man, just she's glowing and vibes. I hit him with like, yo, this is kind of weird. That's my engagement photo. And he hits back with, you looked so good in it, I just had to post. Like, okay, but again, not about you, not a thirst trap. This was me getting engaged. So I just untagged myself and didn't make a scene, just kind of moved on. Then he starts being mad weird, posting stories like, funny how people switch up and too real for the fake. Like, okay, Drake. I just want to, I'm not even done reading yet, but whoever wrote this, the way in which they wrote this, I want to be your friend because it's just, it's the like and whoa is how I talk to people, but in text form. Now some of our friends are acting like I overreacted, saying I should have been flattered and that he was just trying to be supportive. Supportive would have been keeping my man in the picture and saying congrats, not acting like I was the star of his content drop. So yeah, all that. Am I the asshole?
No.
Wait, that's actually a fucking... No, that's fucking weird that he cropped out her fucking fiance, like...
That's
Bro.
mad fucking weird.
Right?
Like,
How would...
Like, what fucking
you
emotions
cut out
is
the
he having
fiance,
about her?
I cut out you from my
Oh,
life.
dude,
That's how
he
I
definitely
think.
likes her. You don't do that
Oh,
shit unless you
no,
secretly have
100%.
feelings.
100%, he's crushing hard and jealous of the husband, so he's hoping that he can have his little fantasy and shit with, like, just her and make people think that maybe they're together and shit on the internet and everything. It's fucking no. OP is not the asshole.
And it's like
That's
the
fucking
cropping it was
weird,
already weird
bro.
enough. I think adding the fact of the caption wasn't something like "Congrats, bestie" or like something regarding the engagement of a congratulations. Because like our friends, when me and Rosie got engaged, our friends obviously that's on their Facebooks as well and like their social media, and it was like "Congrats to my friend," "Congrats to my sister," like whatever they put on it. It was never just like anything weird.
It's not just a she's beautiful.
Yeah, it wasn't like she's
or
glowing.
anything like that. Like the fuck.
And I think what's also like interesting about it is how the friend group is reacting. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And it's for the strict fact of what is the exact phrasing. Let me pull it back up. Oh, I should have been flattered. Excuse me?
What?
Don't tell me how I'm supposed to
No.
feel about somebody else. The fuck?
Like
You got me
you
fucked
can
up.
be flattered, you know, if it's your fiance saying like, "Oh my god, like you're beautiful," and posting a picture like that. But like a friend, like
Like, not even that. Like, you took a whole last moment away from a couple to make it about. Oh,
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you should have been flattered. I made it only about you.
Exactly. Like maybe I would have been flattered if you had had me and my partner in the photo as it originally was, and you had commented on both of them, not cropped out my partner to make it some weird ass like
what?
photo post thing. Also, yeah, no, that's like the 5th time that thing has come out and then gone away since we've started.
I just saw that. There was
You can see that?
there was a button board of sounds behind me and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
it's me who
Button board.
can't. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna do it again.
It's not there right now.
Where is it? Oh, I see it.
there.
How are you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's a mute board. Don't let me touch that. Get it away from me.
Cheers.
That's awesome. Hold on, let's see. We got some shit in the chat right now. So Sempi is saying shit's weird. Who steals photos to post them, let alone crop him out? And see, that's the thing, because the best way. So when I like doing my examples, I do not like using our male friends because I don't like that hypothetical. So we're gonna use Squishy. This would be no different
Oh,
than
God.
if, like, when you got engaged, say I was with you guys, or just took the photos in general from the videos and stuff that you sent, cropped Wonder out of all of them, and put just you in them, and put it on my Instagram page with "she's so glowing." Would that not be weird? Even if, like, as your best friend, it's weird to not, one, acknowledge the engagement, and two, to crop out the person you're marrying.
I would. Okay. I love you. I would hurt you.
See, it's weird because that doesn't come off as like friendship, support. Like, no, I'm hyping my bestie. That comes off as like, what is
That's
your
not an
ulterior
endearing
motive?
type of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
And,
all
like,
it comes
depending-
off as.
Depending on what his ulterior motive is, like it just makes me icky thinking about it. Cause like, I don't know. I fucking hate people.
And then whenever they come to you and be like, "Hey, this kind of made me you know, it kind of made me a little uncomfy. Like, I kind of didn't like that a little bit and everything." Like, instead of doing, you know, what a normal friend would have done, and "oh shit, my bad, here, let me take that down for you, or fix it and everything, let me put up the one with you and your husband instead, I apologize for making you uncomfortable." Instead, you're gonna get mad, you're gonna get offended because she told you that something you did with a picture of her, which is technically her property that she's giving you permission to post and everything. You're getting mad at her for
Hi,
telling
Rare.
her she's uncomfortable with what you've done. Like, no, that you don't. That's not something you get mad at, especially if you're going to be a fucking professional, let alone being a friend.
I think
Like,
it's
that's like if I
also
was in. Go ahead.
no, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just thinking like Because in regards to how he's having a tantrum, I'm sorry, making shady fucking posts on an Instagram story of like crazy how people switch up.
Right?
Crazy that you're wasting the energy. I do not like people who take the time and energy to post like shady shit for people that are like upset or hurt or like whatever emotion you're going through that you feel the need to put it on a story. Screams attention seeking to me, and I don't like it because all you want from that is for people to reach out and be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, what happened, who hurt you, so you can like
want a
spit this
fucking
weird
pity party.
narrative. I don't like
You
that.
want a pity party, and you want to turn people on the person that you dislike, because once you create an echo chamber and essentially a mob against that person that's all backing you, then it's like, okay, well now we can go piss on their fucking parade and because I'm upset with them for not liking what I did for them. Like,
And I think
no, just
if
fucking
we separated, like, I think that the definite clear alternative motive here is this guy likes her. And probably has for a very long time. Listen, I know it is possible to have male best friends, okay? I obviously, like, hello, hi, both of you, right? But we
It's
cannot.
just the way that he's acting.
Well, there's also, I think there's an outlier that people need to acknowledge when there is opposite gendered best friends. You cannot deny that it's an opposite gender. So you always have to make sure of, like, it being very clear to the full extent of we are friends, nothing more. That will never surpass that level.
Yeah.
And just like I've noticed it. Granted, I've seen it with women. I'm not like saying anything. I've just seen it more commonly with men. Just as a woman, that they are very commonly like, "Oh yeah, we're besties. I actually really want you." Because I had that when I left my
100%.
hometown.
100%.
I was friends with a guy
100%.
for how long were we friends for? I don't want to say that we're not friends, but I have not reached out to him since. Because when I left my hometown to move out here to be with Rosie, he hit me with a, hey, like, I know that you say, like, you're my sister and that I'm your brother, and, like, we say I love you to each other in that way, but just so you know, I used to have a really big crush on you. And I was like, that can't be, like, the send-off you give me for leaving the state is, like, by the way, I really wanted a chance with you. I just thought you were gay.
See, one thing I do want to mention though, and this is props to whoever posted that, is they knew that it was wrong and they set that boundary. Because my lucky woman, it was my significant other, they were like, oh, I didn't notice, or it's just a picture. But she already went out, probably without him even saying anything. I was like, hey, this isn't right.
Yeah, she did catch that. We love that. She did elaborate a boundary.
Because you pointed out, like, with us and everything, how many times, like, when we're just hanging out half the time, do I either reference either, like, cis or best friend, or, like, shit, I act more fucking gay and like a fucking girl's girl with you two than I do any kind of fucking dude out there trying to hang out, and I
literally said to further prove that point, I sent him a text when I put those nails on my hands, on my fingers. I sent, can we have some girly pop time real quick? Just real quick, like 5 minutes. And I sent him the picture. I was like, look!
I'm just sitting here like, girl, look at them. And then she's like,
But,
I
like-
cut on my head, and I'm, oh, you did not. Excuse me.
he went like full girly pop mode for like 10 minutes. But
I got
like,
you.
to kind of go along with your story that you had with that one dude, I had a friend back in Vegas. Him and I were super fucking close. And it was literally the day before I was moving. He had helped us pack stuff in our U-Haul. And I walked, because we lived in a gated community. I walked him to the front gate because he rode his bike over. Bike. Wow.
Boke.
English. He rode his bike over, so he was gonna ride it back home. He didn't live that far. And this motherfucker gave me a sweatshirt, his old drumsticks, because he played the drums a lot, and then proceeded to be like, can I do something? And I was like, sure, expecting a hug. No, this motherfucker just full out just fucking. Example. Face. Fucking.
They would have been tased.
And proceeded for him and I to be like, okay, let's see if we can make this work. Keep in mind, it's the summer before our junior year. Like 2 months later, he was just like, nah, fuck you, you a hoe. Bye, bitch. And then I was like, okay.
Damn.
2 months later, I drove down to Vegas to go see my little brother, and my little brother was best friends with him, and it was really awkward for about 4 days because I was staying with him until Rossi was back at her mom's house, and I was like,
See, I think
This
my
is
best
awkward.
like male friendships are the ones where we both get disgusted with each other. Cause like,
Yeah.
so for example, there was one, it was in VR chat. Me and Scraps were hanging out. So if you're still in chat, hi. And someone assumed we were a couple. Both of us fucking went, ew. That motherfucker's ugly. Like, we both got disgusted with each other, and I love it.
That's how Mason and I started out. We would have that like brother sister bond, but we were also highly disgusted of each other. We were just like, him? No, never. And now we're engaged.
So what I'm hearing is don't try to find the women. Are you trying to tell us that you're not supposed to try to find the women that are like, oh yeah, I really like the way that you look, or oh we're supposed to find the people who are just fucking disgusted with us?
No, okay, no.
No.
Wait,
I've tried
hold
that
on.
already, Squishy.
Wait, pause, time out.
No.
Time out.
They were disgusted in denial with each other. But for like me and y'all, if somebody were to assume
Yeah, that's
that we are a
true.
relationship, we both have
Yeah,
the
that's
mutual
true.
understanding of being
No,
like
I'm
we are
sorry,
disgusted
I
with
don't
each
date
other.
planks.
I do not want to hear it from the motherfucker who looks like a stick bug.
So like, okay, for more context, I had dated Mason's friend before I dated him. Okay, that was a 2 almost 3 month span. That motherfucker was possessive. Babe, I'm sorry, I love you. Fuck Noah. But either way, like it was to the point where like it was more of a funny disgusted, like how her and Scraps are with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually it led into the disgustful denial of, aha, you're actually, pretty chill, but like at the same time we were just like, fuck you,
Yeah.
And now we're engaged.
That yet.
And he still flips me off and still pisses me off with the whole, I guess I love you too kind of shit, but it's fine.
To each their own. I mean, y'all have y'all's dynamic. If and when I ever actually start dating someone again, I'll have that dynamic too. I say if and when because I've come to the terms now. I'm starting to get up there. I'm probably just gonna die alone at this point, yo. I'm gonna just be that single uncle that comes around everybody's birthday party every now and then.
Motherfucker, I'm older than you. Look at my history.
Listen, we can both.
You
be
both
uncle,
just
okay?
pick horrid women.
Stop sticking your dick in
That's why I
crazy.
said.
Stop
That's why I
sticking
said
your dick in
the
crazy.
next
All I
one-
chat.
That's why I said the next one.
This
They
is-
have to pass y'all's tests first.
Yeah, this is why we're here, to judge whether or not crazy, not crazy.
What do you mean? Rosie already said I have to vet my next one through him.
I'm gonna say, at this point, don't vet it through us, okay? Because I'll keep it $1.50. You came to us, you specifically, and we're like, huh? And we were like, and you went, but look, and we were like, and you were like, I'm gonna do it anyway, until Rosie was like, and you were like, oh yeah, maybe that's bad. Don't vet through us, go to Rosie.
And then she moved in, and now I got a puppy out of it.
You got Toby.
Yeah. That is true.
Shit.
And now we bond that J Buns is effectively a single dog dad, and he just sends me pictures of Toby, and we go, "Aw, look how big he is now," and then we just send dog pictures for like an hour.
That's fucking.
It's our only form of children.
You, your cats, and Nelly, him, Toby.
Hey, it still gives me a reason to make dad jokes.
My grandfather.
Squish is a victim of my dad jokes.
I fucking hate your dad jokes. I hope you know that.
But you know what we don't hate around these parts? Squishy's second story.
You mean my first story?
First, Reed. I don't like math. I graduated.
Read.
Okay, so this is a
Hi, Coco.
updates. Both of my stories are best of Redditor updates. This one has a not safe for work tag on it.
Ooh.
Trigger warnings are describing actions. Describes actions analogous to essaying. So there's your trigger warning. There's your trigger warning. So I, 29 male, felt up my friend, 27 female, in my sleep. My wife, 28 female, won't talk to me. So this was October 7th, 2014. Okay, so I, 29 male, so OP is 29, is a 29 male.
OP 29.
Felt up my friend, 27 female, in my sleep. My wife, my wife,
Sleep.
28 female, won't talk to me.
Hey, shut
How
up.
is your female friend close enough to you in your sleep?
Exactly. So,
I'm sleeping.
I'm sleeping, J Buns. Don't worry. I'm sorry.
I'm sleeping.
I'm sleeping.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sleeping. Okay, so this is October 7th, 2014, and it says some backstory. This does have an update to it, by the way. So it says, sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm having very aggressive cuddle time with my wife. I don't remember the I don't remember the foreplay. I don't remember getting hard. I don't remember getting on top of her, but I wake up and I'm mid-thrust inside her. She tells me that I'm the one that initiates it, and I get super sensual with my touching, but I have no memory of it ever happening until I wake up and I'm,
This man sleep fucks?
Sleepwalking. This guy is sleeping.
This man is sleeping.
So, cut to this weekend. I'm on a camping trip with some friends, 2 guys and a girl. My wife doesn't like to go camping, so she didn't come. This girl is a platonic friend. I can't stress that enough. I have zero attraction to her. We all shared a tent because that's what you do when you camp. And the sleeping arrangement was friend 1, friend 2, me, and Taylor, we'll call her. I've camped with them on numerous occasions in the same sleeping arrangement and nothing has ever happened. Well, we all had been drinking around the campfire and eventually went to bed. I woke up in the middle of the night with my sleeping bag unzipped and her hand on my crotch and mine on her ass as she was kissing my neck. I instantly awoke and recoiled, got out of the tent, and sat by the fire for the rest of the night. The 2 guys were passed out drunk and they had more than Taylor and I, so they had no idea what had happened. Taylor came out and tried to talk to me. I was terrified and in shock. She told me that I had been rubbing up on her and making her feel good, and then she turned around and tried to reciprocate. I asked her why, and she said she thought that's what I wanted. I didn't sleep that night and went home the next day and told my wife what happened. She blew up, accused me of cheating on her, and that she was leaving me. I tried calling her the past few days. She won't answer, and she is staying with her sister. We haven't spoken since Saturday. She won't give me the time to explain what happened. What do I do? See, LDR, I felt up my friend in my sleep, and my wife won't speak to me.
So they're both in the wrong, and I feel like his wife, that's very hard to look over.
So there's
He does it.
There's a small edit at the end of this that I forgot to read. So it says, for clarity, though we had been drinking, I was by no means drunk. This isn't a I blacked out then came to while I was on top of her kind of thing. It was not at a means to cheat on my wife with Taylor. I do not find Taylor attractive at all. We have camped together 20 plus times, and this has never happened before. I honestly had no idea what was happening until I woke up.
My question is, like, on one hand, I get that he says they've camped like this plenty of times before and everything. But if it's like 3 dudes and 1 female, honestly, how hard is it to bring a second tent to put the female in her own tent so she has her own? I've been camping plenty of times where a majority of us were dudes and everything, and yeah, obviously we had multiple tents because of the amount of people and everything, but never once, not a single fucking time. And it wasn't that the parents didn't trust us or anything like that, or the other female that was there, but the females always had their own tent that they could use to get ready, do whatever they needed to and shit like that, so they had their own fucking it can
I'm just more curious on how this motherfucker sleep fucks. Like,
So,
I'm sorry.
I agree with I agree with J Buns on that matter then, because here's the thing. I agree with J Buns. I think they're both shitty. One for the strict fact of, if you know that for whatever reason you do things that I don't know. You sleep fuck, man. That's a thing. You do that. You should probably have your own tent if that's a tendency that you have, whether you think you're gonna do it with your wife or not. People who sleepwalk in general, that's like I don't understand the mental gymnastics of that. Okay, but like, if you sleep fuck and you know this is a thing, I would, if that was something that I did, I would not trust myself in a tent with anybody. Out of pure fear of, if I don't control myself when I'm asleep, put my ass alone. That's weird that you were already, because, like, you know, unfortunately it was the woman, but it also, I'm not saying anyone would have been fortunate in this situation, but, like, it could have been one of the men. It could have been, like, a home dog that you turned around, you were copping a feel. But you should have been alone.
Is it only with the women? Like, what if he was in the tent with a dude? Is he just gonna start filling up the dude when he's sleeping?
But it's also, I think it's bad on the woman as well, because like you brought up, I'm sorry, I don't care how close we are as friends. I don't care what we could be friends since fucking childhood. But if I am the only female and there's 3 men, we are not sleeping in the same tent. That, regardless of how close we are, and maybe this is the trauma talking, that sounds like an accident waiting to happen, whether it's an accident you want or not. Like, put yourself in your own tent. And for her to reciprocate, she clearly had underlying feelings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, what if she knew he was married and all that kind of stuff? Why did she reciprocate when she knows this shit? But also at the same time, like, if the wife understands that this happens, she could have said, like, hey, maybe, like, before he left, maybe, like, saying, like, hey, maybe let's not sleep in the same time with her, or, like, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But, like, also, if they've been on the same camping trip so many plus times and it hasn't happened before, why the fuck is it happening now?
Also, why did the
That
wife
actually
not
raises
go
a
on
good
this camping trip?
question.
She doesn't like
doesn't like
camping.
camping.
She doesn't like camping. That raises a question. Has something like this potentially happened previously where he hasn't woken up or anything like that, and he has no idea that he's done anything else with her? Not to like try to accuse him, but on the other hand, one thing I will say too, because nobody's actually really said this, I'm not going to say that she had the wrong reaction. But I will say that his wife should have at least tried to sit down and hear him out and talk it out rather
Yeah.
than just immediately, oh, you're cheating on me. I'm done with all of this. Block on everything. We're finished. Like,
At least he woke up before
and he
anything
stopped it.
could go further.
Like if she would at least talk to him as well, she would realize, like, hey, what happened was I woke up and was doing this. That's all that happened. She was starting to try to do this. I got up and fucking left because I wasn't trying to do anything. Don't know how we're gonna deal with her, but like that's the situation for me. Think of me how you will. You know that I do this. It's not an excuse, but this is what happened. I'm sorry that it happened, and we'll make sure that it doesn't happen again, either by XYZ, whatever reasoning that is, whether it's not going camping with her anymore, shit like that.
See, I think
Okay.
like I do and don't fault the wife in the slightest for her reaction. Do I think she could have tried to have heard him out? A little. I think if you guys are married, depending on how long the marriage is, especially, like, sit down and talk. But I mean, end of the day, even if he's not aware of it, it is still cheating. And because also, end of the day, you are well aware that you have these sleep tendencies. So again, for both woman and man, you both
Shouldn't be in that
put
situation.
yourself in that situation to some extent. Even if you want to sit there and be like, no, we're just friends, like nothing would ever happen. Why take that risk, though? Why not just go to Walmart and get another tent? Go get one of the hammock things. Go sleep in a fucking tree. There was so many outlets.
I was gonna say, bruh, if it's summertime, I love sleeping in those little like E&O hammocks or whatever. It's like little pocket hammock things and shit. They're fucking they're comfy as shit. And I mean, hell, I went camping once with a group of friends, and the entire weekend we didn't even pitch a single tent. It was hammock up on a tree, sleeping bag in that, and that's where we slept the entire fucking time. Like, it was.
I'm too scared of
If I'm
bugs.
in that situation, bug net.
Who
Spiders.
is ready for the update?
Please. Because now I'm thinking about camping spiders.
Okay. So, I spoke with my doctor. This is 2 days later. So this is October 9th, 2014. I spoke with my doctor, and he says it sounds like I do have sexsomnia, which apparently is a real thing. I did look it up while they were talking. It is actually a real thing. Blows my mind.
Don't tell VR chat that. It's going to be the
Babe,
next
sorry,
fucking
I
fake
sleep
disorder they
fuck.
use.
But
Oh,
he's
no,
not too
I'm
familiar with it. As far as he knows, there's no real cure, and there isn't really a treatment for it. But he said he was going to refer me to a psychiatrist/psychologist, and they would help me. He told me, "Oh, hi, baby. Hi." He told me they might try me on some antidepressants to attempt to curb it from happening again. I found a blog about sexsomnia, and that actually really helped me better understand what I have and how to deal with it. The guy does a really good job of explaining the guilt and all the emotions, and I felt after all of this happened. I managed to talk to my wife, and things are good now. She wasn't contacting me because she needed time to herself and space to sort it all out in her head. She didn't want to say anything else that she would regret later, and she felt bad for her initial reaction. She knows me and she trusts me, and we have a great relationship. This is the first hiccup I can ever remember us having in the 9+ years we've been together. After I told her what happened, she went to the darkest possible timeline and thought the worst. I can't blame her for her initial reaction because one of the biggest deal breakers for either of us is infidelity. She came home that night. I posted the original thread, and I apologized up and down about putting myself in that spot to begin with. But she actually put me at ease and said she didn't blame me for it because she too never thought that my sleep sexing would be an issue. She read up on sexomnia while at her sister's and realized I wasn't trying to cheat on her. I was not in control of my body at the time. I stopped the moment I became lucid, and I immediately let her know what happened. The biggest problem from this whole thing was the fact that we never took my sorry.
Bless you.
We never took my sexomnia as something that was serious. When it would happen, we just assumed it was because of a sexy dream I was having, and thought of the whole thing as some quirky thing that I did every once in a while. Not an actual sleep disorder that could have serious risks associated with it. So for those who said I was a known sleep fucker, well, no, it wasn't known. We just thought it was something weird I did every once in a while. Tell me I'm making excuses all you want. Tell me I'm a piece of shit for putting people at risk. Tell me that I'm deflecting blame. I really don't care. It's like having diabetes without knowing it and then getting sick when you eat a candy bar. Yeah, hindsight shows that there was an issue. There was an issue when you were peeing all the time. You were losing. This doesn't fucking make sense. Hold on.
I think it's just trying to compare it to like showing symptoms but not knowing what it is.
I'm skipping that part. So my wife and I are were both ignorant of the entire condition. The idea that I could do it to someone other than my wife had never crossed either of our minds because it happened so rarely and we didn't know it was anything legitimate. If either one of us believed that it was an actual risk, I would have not been in the tent with anyone. Now we obviously know better, live and learn. One of the biggest reasons I got shit in the last thread was because I had the audacity to sleep in a tent with a woman. My wife knew of the sleeping arrangements and was completely fine with it. Like I said in the last thread, we had camped that way many times and it had never been an issue before this past weekend. However, there was a separate incident on another camping trip I was not previously aware of. It turns out that I apparently started caressing one of my buddies on an earlier camping trip and he didn't tell me. He told me that when I did it, he elbowed me in the gut and then I rolled over and went to sleep. I had no idea that happened and he never mentioned it before because he thought I was just trying to fuck with him. So it seems that my sexomnia doesn't discriminate. For those who said I was stupid for sleeping next to a woman, that is not the case. I was stupid for sleeping next to anyone who is not my wife. I will never put myself in that situation again. As for Taylor, I got a conversation going with her on Facebook. In it, I apologized for the incident and I went into some detail of what happened. She said that she was already aware of the fact that I do stuff in my sleep because my wife had made jokes about it in the past. While I did apologize, I still told her that the way she handled it was inappropriate and I will not be camping with her or associating with her any longer. I asked her if she had feelings for me and she said that she didn't think so, but she got lost in the moment. She took responsibility for her actions and admitted what she did was wrong. She was very understanding of the whole thing and was very remorseful, and agreed it's the best to stay away. As far as friend breakups go, it was very mutual and mature. We both owned up to our mistakes. We are no longer associating with each other. It's for the best. My wife eventually read the conversation, and it reinforced my version of the story and the series of events I had described to her. So that made her happy and reinforced that I wasn't lying. It sucks because she was one of our best friends, but anyone who is willing to cheat with me does not need to be in our lives. Someone might say that it's not fair to her and that if I had an attempt to sleep sex with her, then everything would have been fine. I disagree. She was willing to go through with it when I was willing to go... She was willing to go through with it when I was willing to go through with it. Okay, yeah, I read that right. Okay. She obviously was feeling something I was not, and I don't need to associate with that. If I've learned anything from this incident, it's that I can't be surprised if a bomb goes off while I'm holding a flame to a fuse. Removing myself from her life is the best course of action for all parties involved. Taylor isn't my wife, so she is not my priority. So all in all, things are all right. I'm trying to move forward, as is my wife. Things are looking up. We haven't scheduled couples counseling or anything yet, but I suggested it, and I'm a willing participant if my wife wants to consider it down the road. She seems to already be pretty forgiving, so I think that we're good. I'm seeing the psychiatrist/psychologist next week. So for those who actually helped and gave me constructive advice instead of attacking me, thank you. TLDR, it was dumb to neglect my sleeping issues, and we can all agree on that. Things are good with the wife. Taylor's no longer around, nor will she be in the future. And that is it.
That had a better result than I expected.
You looked at me whenever she said one thing. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot what it was that you said. What does that girl talk actually fucking mean for what she said?
What did I say?
I don't. If we don't remember, if we collectively don't remember, we collectively don't remember. It's fine.
Wait.
There was something.
I missed the chapter. What?
It was whenever he asked her if she had feelings for him, and it was her response.
Oh, so she said she didn't know. She said she didn't know, but she said.
Oh, that she was like lost in the
In
moment.
the moment.
Yeah, she was like lost in the moment.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Like that sounds like it's more of an excuse than
That's an
it
excuse.
is anything
That's an
else.
excuse. But like that had a happier result.
That's the excuse of no, I don't have feelings for you, but I definitely suck your dick if I really wanted to.
I would just like to say that I'm actually not glad. The word I'm looking for is not glad. I'm not glad this happened to any parties, but I relieved, maybe relieved that it happened to the men as well. It doesn't discriminate. I was exactly right that it's not just the woman at risk here. If you have a tendency to sleep fuck, you grabbed onto a homie.
Bruh, if any of us had ended up having some secret unknown like sleep fucking thing, when we all get together, the homies are just gonna think it's us being dumb and trying to like be funny gay with each other, and no, it's the body trying to be actually gay with each other.
We're searching up
Some of
what the
these men out
fuck
here say they're gonna
sextomnia is
fuck
after
your
this.
husband.
I'll look it up.
Bro, some of these guys in our group say they're gonna fuck your husband. We might have to keep an eye on them. They might accidentally actually try.
Does anyone in here
I mean, at least
sleepwalk?
Moving forward.
No.
No.
No, as far as I know, I don't.
Alright, finish what you were saying, J Buns.
I have punched someone in my sleep though. That shit was funny.
I have. Mason has. Mason punches me all the fucking time in his sleep.
So, backstory: when I was like in first grade, I was still like sleeping in my parents' bed, and I guess I was having a dream where I was fighting, and I straight up punched my mom in the eye and almost gave her a black eye. It was after that they're like, "All right, you can't sleep in our bed anymore."
Damn.
But what I was saying is, you touched on it earlier, Paul. Like he was like, "Well, moving forward, like." Things that he can do is just not, if he knows that it's a possibility it could happen, just have your own tent, your own sleeping bag. Don't put yourself in a situation where it could go south.
Exactly. Squishy, your hand is raised.
You're raising your hand, yes.
I have the definition. Okay, so sexsomnia, also known as sleep sex, is a parasomnia where individuals experience sexual behaviors during non-rapid eye movement sleep, often without awareness or memory of the event. These behaviors can range from sexual vocalizations and, touchy of oneself, to more active sexual acts. The condition can have significant personal, social, and legal implications, including relationship strain, legal cases, or legal charges, and mental health issues. It can occur with both men and women, but is often associated with men. The triggers for it are stress, fatigue, sleep deprivation, alcohol or drug abuse, and certain sleep disorders can trigger it. Yeah.
Do not let VR chat know that is a thing. If you think there's a problem with people faking DID, Sexsomnia is about to be the new top hit.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean to try to ERP with you while we were cuddling. I just have sexsomnia.
I think what's worse is that sounds like the exact thing I would hear in like a popcorn palace.
That's exactly what it is.
Just
That's
like
exactly what you would
I'm sorry, babe. You know, I just can't stop myself. I got sexsomnia.
You're not even asleep. Yeah, mine's different. I don't have to be. It can take over even when I'm lucid, babe. Like, no.
Hey Squishy, do you have phantom pain?
Sleeping.
Because you're about to learn what it is.
As well.
I'm glad that had a good outcome.
It's like you're not even asleep. Oh wait, what?
Essentially, that's how it would fucking
I'm gonna
be.
start doing that shit to Rosie. Let it be known, literally, the only amount of sleep anything I have to worry about with this man, he doesn't sleepwalk, he doesn't sleep talk. I learned that I do sometimes. If I'm in the middle of like a really fucking good dream, and I'm like, it's always typically towards the end when I'm about to come to, I can start talking. Don't fucking talk to me in that point. Apparently, I've said some shit, and he's like, what the fuck are you on about? And I'm out cold. I remember particularly, 1, nightmares, I'll wake up screaming. 2, it's when I worked at Starbucks. There was something about a hat, and I was trying on hats, and someone was trying to wake me up, and they were like, get up, it's time to go. Like, you need to wake up. And I woke up right after I said it, so I was aware that I said it, but I knew it wasn't like a conscious thing, and I just said, hold on, I gotta finish putting this hat on. And then I woke up and went, I literally looked at them and I was like, shut the fuck up. We're not talking about it. I'm up. Like, don't. I was aware that I remembered that. Don't do it. But when it comes to him in his sleep, he like puts me in chokeholds in his sleep. That's the only worry I have.
See,
Man, just
So
WWE wrestling your ass while he's fucking.
I want you
dozing.
to here. Hold on. You're my visual, right? Like I'll be like, honk shooing away, right? And he'll come over and he'll put an arm over, and I'm like, oh, he's cuddling, and then this arm will tighten up to the neck, and I'm like, oh, that was kind of like a lot of pressure. And then he'll tighten again, and I'm like, oh, this actually kind of hurts. Okay, cool. And I'll move his arm down, and it triggers a reaction where he tightens more, and I'm like, actually get off of me now. Now we're fighting.
fucking anaconda.
Sleep.
See, okay, I know I sleep talk because Mason's caught me in the act of sleep talking, but he gets mainly confused if I'm having a really lucid dream. I will wake up from said dream in the middle of it, and I will be sitting straight up in bed. I will quite literally, like, legs out, I will be sitting like this in bed if I wake up in the middle of a lucid dream. And then he goes, babe, are you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling. And then I'll lay back down and go back to sleep. There was one conversation that I had in a dream, and it was about airplanes. And I woke up like 20 minutes later, and he was like, yeah, babe? You like when airplanes go burr? And I was like, I guess. And then when Mason sleeps, this is something that like I'm used to because my friend Rossi used to do it whenever I went to her house. When he sleeps, he chucks his arm. And by that, I mean you're gonna be in my position for a second.
Oh no.
So we're laying together in bed. Keep in mind, he has his side, I have my side. So we're about this far apart. Because I curl up in my sleep. And this motherfucker will go from laying on his side to going on his back, but when he does it, he'll fling his arm
Oh, hell
across
no.
the bed and just slam me in the chest. And
My
that's
brother
what
used to do
Rossi
that
did
shit.
too. Rossi, though, used to do it so hard, though, that I thought she broke my sternum one time. Like,
Dude, that shit
I went
hurts.
out of her room. I went out of the room, like, trying to catch my breath, and her mom was at her desk working, like, super late. And I went up to her, and I was like, I can't breathe. And she's like, what happened? I'm like, Betsy hit me in the chest.
Dude, no, that shit hurts. My brother used to do that when we were kids. Like, so, for when we go to, like, hotels and stuff, like, we'd have my parents' bed, and then you would have our bed, and because he's, like, so my brother, when we were younger, in his sleep, would beat the, don't sleep near him. He would beat the shit out of you. Kicking, flailing, straight fucking, like, haymakers in this, like, we had, like, a barricade of pillows that, for me, it was more so, like, don't touch me, you have cooties. Like, this was mainly for his legs. This motherfucker would kick the shit out of you in the middle of the night. And so, like, I would constantly wake up as a kid, and my brother is, like, fucking all kinds of sprawled, and I'd be, like, grabbing limbs and throwing them back over to his side, and then laying back down. And then it was that flail. He would roll over, and it was, like, I think the one time I pushed him off the bed, I was so pissed. I think we were, like, maybe 12. I was so mad, though. He fucking flung, and it hit me across the face. And I woke up, and it was like, you know how, like, hotel beds, they're typically, like, you have the one side that has plenty of space to get out of the bed. And then you have the other side, which maybe has, like, a good 3-inch gap from the wall.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. My brother's built like you. So I remember sitting up, hunching up, and I kicked him into that 3-inch gap. And you just hear...
Bro, you gotta be careful. Guys like us will get lost down there, yo.
You can-
That's a whole ass excavation.
Mom, if you're watching this, I want you to know that when he went down, this did wake up my parents. I did get in trouble for this. I remember this. I got grounded. But I want you to know, Mom, I took a lot of joy in that moment because all you could hear was dunk, 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 dunk as his head bounced off the fucking wall.
See, I've never been kicked into one of those before.
It was awesome.
Oh, I have.
Did the same fucking shit. Like, bro, them things are dangerous, yo. See, I was always told though, but this was more from my parents. At least whenever I was really, really young, and would like have like a scary dream or anything like that type of shit. After like the first or second time, even if I had a scary dream or anything, I wasn't allowed to sleep like with my parents because I apparently kicked like a goddamn mule in my sleep half the time. Don't know why. Don't even remember what the fuck I might have been dreaming about or what was going on. But I same with like your brother and everything, and it might just be a guy thing, honestly. I don't know. But I fucking arms everywhere, kicking all the time. And I'm just out like a lot. Like, I don't know I'm doing any of it whatsoever. I'm told about this shit afterwards.
Bro, I will say there is a sweet thing to Roy within his sleep. And it's the fact, if he's not choke holding me, he plays with my hair in his sleep.
Aww.
I'll pass the fuck back out because I'll wake up and he'll like bring an arm over and it'll be on the top of my head and I'll sit there because I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? And I'll like kind of like look back and he's clearly out cold. And then he'll just like start running his like fingers through my hair and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going back to bed then. Fuck, this is nice.
That's so fucking adorable. What were you gonna say?
To touch on what Shadow said, I mean, when I was in the military running off of like 2 hours of sleep, I would go to bed in my bunk normally, like my head's on my pillow, feet are at the foot of the bed, and I'd wake up 2 hours later completely 180 where my head was where my feet were and my pillow's now on the ground. And I don't know how the fuck I would do that in my sleep.
J-Bones became a Beyblade in his sleep.
Bro, no.
He said we're gonna spin and see where we end up.
No, I shit you not. I've had moments like that before where we were in the barracks, right? And I would go to bed, wouldn't have been drinking.
Yeah?
wouldn't have been drinking, wouldn't have been doing anything the night before or anything like that, except maybe stay up late as fuck and playing video games and shit, right? Go to bed this way in my bed, wake up, flipped the fuck around completely in my bed with pillow. My main pillow is still down at the end where I fucking went to bed the night before. I'm using my blanket, my sheet, and like another side pillow that I fucking had at the time. On the other end, don't know when I flipped around. It's something they were feeding us. I'm telling you, it's something they were feeding us.
I think it also just comes from like
Made us
being
weird.
sleep deprived in any slight form. Because I know if I'm like super, super tired and I end up knocking the fuck out, it's yes, movement. I'll drool. I apparently have multiple times been so tired that I fall asleep on his chest and he doesn't realize I'm asleep until he can feel that I'm fucking drooling on him and he has to like wipe that away. And the only other time is, I don't know if he still has the picture of this, but apparently I would, before, with my last job, I would take naps before he came home from work.
Mhm.
If this is a real picture, there's a picture on his phone where I am like not really even on the bed. I am like so far off the bed that's like head dangling, arms dangling, like it's just the legs on the bed at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Pass the fuck out. So I think when you're sleep deprived, you are prone to sleeping in the weirdest fucking ways possible.
Or when you're pissed
No.
drunk.
I sleep like a baby when I'm drunk. I'm out.
I do too. I know
walked up to
there
my-
was a
Okay,
picture. There was a picture my mom had from when I was a kid. Keep in mind, I do some autistic kind of fucking shit when I'm asleep. Like, I sleep with my arm like this. Like, I will curl my arm into my chest. That's how I sleep.
I do the same thing.
And there is a picture my mom had. My head was all the way back, mouth open. One arm was straight against my body and in between my legs, and the other was curled, and my knees were almost to my chest. And I was just out cold. Next morning, I wake up and my mom is just like, "Look what I got of you last night, sweetie." And I'm like, keep in mind, I'm like 8, 9. This is before my mom got sick. And we're staying at my grandparents' house. And I was like, that will never be shown to anyone ever again. I don't have the actual picture. No, you're not getting the picture.
We'll figure it out one of these days, Pum. Don't worry. We'll find it.
No, it's okay, because come the wedding time, we're all gonna have tons of pictures.
That's
No. No pictures of me when I'm asleep.
the weirdest things that I've done sleep-wise was when I was in the military and I was up in Washington. There was a night, went out with some friends, got super fucking plastered. Like, this might have been the 4th of July fucking party. I don't remember. But got super plastered with some friends, got back to base and everything. I'd already been sick earlier in the night and everything. I remember I get up to my room and I walk in. And I don't even remember, like, I remember getting to my door and going and using the restroom. After the restroom, I don't know what happened, but I do remember waking up at like 5 in the morning, and I'm gonna unplug and actually get up for you guys for this one. I know, shocker, I'm using my legs again.
Oh.
But-
Oh my
So,
god,
like,
2 episodes in a row?
oh, shush. So, okay, Foot, if you don't want to be, I'll fix that later. Fuck it. So we're gonna say that like the bed frame comes up to like right here, right? Well, I apparently just walked into my room, moseyed on in, walked up to the, and it's all flat because it's like a couple of drawers down through underneath the bed and everything, so the bed's on top. Well, I walked in, didn't even take my shoes off or anything. Walked up to the side of it and just over and fell asleep just like this on my fucking bed. I'm like, 1 in the morning to like 4 or 5 in the fucking morning, and then I woke up and I'm like, why the fuck am I standing here? The fuck? Took my shit off, went to bed.
Hell
It
yeah.
reminds me of that one time when me and
Greatest fucking thing. Go ahead, sorry.
that reminds me of that one time when me and my squad mates went out to a bar. We got back to base, and I shit you not, I woke up the next morning, clothes still on, right next to my bunk, but I had my pillow and my blanket on the floor next to my bunk. And I asked my roommates, they're like, you didn't wake me up? Or I was like, what the fuck did I do? They're like, you walked in, said, what's up, grabbed your stuff, put it on the floor, and just went to sleep.
You said, fuck this, we don't need
I
it.
remember doing it.
Dude,
I
I
don't
love
remember. It was
that.
my night in San Diego, bro. TLDR of that, I blacked out after 3 bars and got told the next day that my rackmate had to deadlift me from the floor in between our beds up into my fucking bed, take my shoes off for me, and yeah. I don't remember
Hell
any of that.
yeah.
I blinked at a bar and woke up on a ship.
I will say as a final
That's the
say,
most I've ever blacked out.
in the chat, Sempi said, that's how demons drag you under, no limbs over the edge.
No, you just took your
Very
butt
true.
over the edge. You test the demon.
Test the demons. Oh my lord, we got on a fucking tangent. God damn it.
Booty tonight.
I knew you were gay. Alright, so, as
Be a
for...
female demon.
That's a succubus.
Exactly.
So you like being pegged. Got it.
That's what
Noted.
No, okay, no.
To be fair,
No.
Wait, I got a dad joke.
No butt stuff.
So,
Oh, no.
hold on.
You're about to get dad joke.
Would you let Sage peg you?
No.
That's a lie.
Wild.
What's the dad joke?
So if a succubus is a female demon, is a male demon a licubus?
It's an incubus.
You're canceled. I'm going to the third story. I won't even grace that with a haha.
I enjoyed it, J Bud.
Fucking stupid.
I'm gonna jump out my patio.
So listen, we're gonna reel it in. We've been ha-ha-haing. This comes from Am I the Asshole? And it's Am I the asshole for exposing my sister's abortion? So 32 female sister, Joy, made up name. Is this word allowed on Twitch? I've already said it once,
What
but
is
is
it?
this word allowed? The
Spell it.
Control Alt Delete of fetus deletus. I'm deeming it that now the entire rest of the time. Cool. Had a fetus deletus.
Fucking dumb. You have already said it.
Yeah, fetus deletus a few years ago. Nobody in the family knew except for me and her soulmate. Or her significant other. Sorry, I saw SO and brain hopped. And my other sister. Coming from a religious background, Joy has had a hard time with it and still feels a lot of grief. My mom was spending time with my grandma, and when my grandma casually mentioned that she knew that one of her daughters has had a fetus deletus because she has seen the appointment on a laptop a while back, why she waited so long and felt the need to bring it up now, don't know. My mom pieced 2 and 2 together, knowing 2 of her 3 daughters have IUDs, and the other one, carries, I don't know what that means, and carries her laptop everywhere, deduced that it was Joy. My mom, instead of calling Joy, called me while I was at work to ask if my sister had had a fetus deletus. I was silently panicking until my mom said that she was going to call my sister. Knowing how difficult this has been for Joy, I responded yes and told her that she cannot talk about this with Joy. My mom is very religious and has a slew of mental health issues, and she is the last person I want talking to Joy about such a sensitive topic. I told her to talk about it with her therapist instead. I didn't want to hear anything for a few days until Joy calls me yelling that I have no right telling her personal stuff of how I stole in the moment and conversation that she wanted to have with my parents when the time is right. I apologized and told her that she has every right to feel hurt, but that the cat was out of the bag anyway. She says I should have lied to my mom. I wish I had, but I froze. Joy called me selfish and inconsiderate for betraying her trust and hasn't spoken to me in 2 weeks. Half of me feels like an asshole. Half of me feels like I did the best I could in the moment. So am I the asshole for exposing that? P.S. Long-time listener, first-time poster, be gentle. I will tell you now, the comments are anything but.
So
Wait, hold on. Say that last part again. I'm sorry.
The comments, so she is saying like, hey, I'm a first-time poster, be nice. The comments are very much so not nice.
So-
And she's asking if she's the asshole for answering her mother's question, essentially.
Is she the asshole for exposing her sister's fetus deletus to
Yeah.
the mom?
One thing I want to touch on, and it's one thing that I always hated, is when people say when the time is right, I'm gonna say it. That time is never gonna be right. You just gotta fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. I will say, in my honest personal opinion, when the mom was like, "Hey, so has your sister, done the thing and gone to see the special doctor and everything?" If you weren't gonna tell, or if you didn't necessarily A, feel comfortable, or B, feel that it was like your place to say it, to me, that's simple. Ma, I love you. That's not my conversation to have with you. Go ask her.
But she also said,
That's
yeah.
true. She didn't want her to talk about it with the daughter too. That's right.
because it was already hard enough for her sister. Because she was still, even after years, she was still having grief for it.
I don't know on that one because it's like she was kind of in a
Is there an
lose-lose
update?
situation. She was
Nope.
kind of in a lose-lose situation, to be honest. In my opinion, because it's like she could either not tell her mom and then have to deal with her mom going directly to her sister and that whole fucking thing. Granted, she wouldn't be getting bitched at right now. But then on the other hand, her telling her is like, it wasn't your place to say, and all this other good stuff and shit like that. I mean, either or, mom was gonna find out. Like, let's be
Oh yeah,
honest
the
there
mom was
now.
definitely gonna find out. I mean, I do.
Well,
I don't know. It's a weird one. What
my
were you gonna say, J
question-
Buns?
My question is, why the hell are you gonna search that up on the family computer?
Yeah, what was Grandma looking
That's
for?
fair.
Why was grandma
Why
looking
was-
at abortion clinic stuff?
Yeah.
So,
But,
Like,
like,
I get like
you
the
put
whole.
an A and it popped up.
yeah.
I get the whole like religious thing because I know in some religions, like if you're heavily accustomed to that, like by all means, no judgment. Some of y'all are a little crazy about it, but like in terms of some religions, like I know, I'll use my friend that I have yet to tell you about our latest conversation.
Oh
about.
God.
So my friend, heavily Catholic, she has judged me for moving in with Mason before marriage. She has judged my brother for moving in with his now wife before marriage. She has judged me.
Before you lock it down.
I did it.
Like the fuck.
She has just judged me for my miscarriages because it was pregnancy outside of marriage. So, heavily Catholic. She literally has told me before, I'm not an elope girly. I want to wait to move in with my partner before we, like, after we're married and shit, okay? She thinks that, fetus deletus is the worst thing possible. But at the same time, I kind of had to give her a slap of reality and said, hey, You want to hear some life facts from a non-religious person? Fuck that. Test waters with your partner when you move in with them. If something happens, it happens. She comes to me for advice about certain lady things and about like birth control and all that kind of stuff. One conversation I told Pum, and we laughed about this joke for a week straight. And gonna be completely honest here, she didn't text me for like 4 months. And then she texted me out of the blue last week. And I was like, okay, great, cool. Another slap of reality for her. But all in all, like, say if she had to go through that and like her parents found out, that's a whole other fucking ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could be non-religious, but your parents could be super fucking religious. And that's just a clash and a half. But when you have super religious and super religious, you're just like, when's the nuclear bomb coming? Where is it?
I mean, shit.
Who
not
pressed the
even
button?
that. Not even that, right? Like, the reason I think something like that's fucking dumb, right? Take my last actual relationship. Had I waited before moving in and shit until like after getting married and shit like that, and then I saw kind of what some of the lifestyle stuff was, that would have been so much worse. Like,
That's fair. But I mean, okay, so in regards to like this right now, I definitely do think so. This took me a minute because I had read this at work, and when I first read it, I did and didn't think that OP was the asshole, because the main bottom line is that, and even in chat, Sempe's saying it right now, it's not her story to tell. Regardless
exactly.
of like,
I agree with that.
It's not her story. But it's I think from a family perspective, especially when it comes to people that you're close with, I understand feeling put kind of in a corner of what is the correct action right now. I want to help my sister and not, have her go through this turmoil. So maybe I can talk mom down, but mom's still going to go to you. And it's, I was the one who said it. So now you're going to be mad at me. Or do I just say, do I play dumb and say, I don't know, which means she's still going to go to you, which could still come back to me because I didn't say the truth. So it's like, what's the right? But the end all be all was it's still, even if you not saying something and you saying like, I don't know, talk to her about it, even if that upset the sister, that is still the end of the day, like the correct choice that should have been made of not my business, not my say. Why are you coming to me and have that conversation? And then within the comments, that actually made it a lot more clear, because someone said, there's two. The first comment alone says, yes, you could have said that you didn't have one, and that you don't keep track of your sister's medical information. The second comment said, the fact that the mother called you tells me that you're gullible out of all the daughters, and that what you could have at least done is say, call Joy and, talk to her. Because regardless, the mom was going to call Joy no matter what. But it's very clear that the mom knew she would have been able to ping that from OP. She recognized that. Was like, if I press you, you'll tell me.
Didn't they even say that, like, mom even said that after I get done here, I'm gonna go talk with her too?
Yeah, so it's like, why didn't the mom call Joy first? But end of the day, like, I understand being put in a corner. Not your business to tell.
Squishy, I can see just that your brain ticking and you're wanting to do it. Don't say it out loud this time, Squishy. Don't give it to the world. Just point if you're going to.
But, no, I'm trying to, like, I don't know. It's one of those messy situations where it's like, you do have to put yourself in those shoes. And if not to the extent of understanding the turmoil of going through something like that, just like, if you have something personal with your life, do you want that exposed to the world? Like, even when it came to, like, me doing certain things with my life, I kept it very limited. I was like, these people know. I don't want it out. So it's like, if they want to know, come to me directly.
Same with me.
And I think the best example I can have of that is when I was diagnosed with lupus. The first call I made was to an old roommate, and she immediately hung up and told about 20 fucking people before I had even told my parents. And that pissed me off, because it's like, it wasn't your story to tell, and I didn't want those people to know or to view me differently, or like all of these reasons, and you took that power away from me. And I, like, granted, I did have a conversation with her later where I was like, you fucked up. That was really fucking mean. Don't ever do that to me again. And like, it's cool, but that's, she fucked up. You should have been like, yo, call her. Don't call me. If you can't lie about it, straight up be like, call her, not me, and hang up.
Yeah.
And I believe with that, that's probably what our last story of the night.
Situation to be put into.
It really is.
It was. I don't necessarily think
There's
she's
no
the
winning.
asshole, but I think there was no winning that situation whatsoever.
Especially when it comes to
honesty.
family.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone it made it seem like the mom was already an overthinker, because she already said, like, 3 of my daughters are on birth control. One doesn't leave their laptop around, so it's between you two.
Yeah, mom was already starting to ping some things.
Alright, Squishy, hit us with that final story of the night.
So this is from originally posted of Am I Overreacting? But it is now on Best of Redditor Updates. It does have a trigger warning of threats of offing oneself and accusations of infidelity. This is, am I overreacting because my boyfriend asked me for a paternity test as a joke?
It's not a joke unless both people laugh.
So the original post was from April 4th of this year.
Oh god. Oh god. That's new.
So
We're in April.
It says pretty much what the title says. I have a 4-month-old son with my boyfriend who I've... Yeah. So pretty much from what the title says. I have a 4-month-old son with my boyfriend who I've been with for a little over 2 years. I'm 21 and he's 26, if that matters. Last night, he worked overtime, so he didn't get home until midnight. He gave me a hug and then just randomly asked me if our son was really his. Or should we get him tested, be sure. I was pissed, and I woke up today still pissed. I talked to him about it this morning, and he said I shouldn't be mad because it wasn't a real question, it was supposed to be funny. But I'm not laughing, I'm angry. I've never cheated on him before, and I've never given him a reason to think I was, so the whole thing was just really odd. Am I right to be this angry, or am I overreacting here? He swears he didn't mean it, but he hasn't apologized for it, and if it was really a joke, it wasn't funny at all. Is this enough to leave him over? There is an update, but I'm gonna let you guys kind of fester over what it is.
That ain't a joke. That's like, hey, Shadow. Am I the bad?
With that, but I will also say...
fucking, hey, Shadow. Am I the dad?
I mean...
Am I wrong? That's basically what he did.
See, like, you're trying to, like, pass off your insecurities as a joke, and it's just not funny.
That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of me going up like... Yeah. This is the equivalent of me going like, hey, Shoddy. So, like, am I the dad?
I'd be scared.
I will say, though...
Moment.
I will say, though, like, I don't think it's enough to just... Or especially if this is, like, the first time, you don't just I didn't like that joke. We're over. Like, to that degree, like I can understand some jokes are
But like,
that level. Don't get me wrong. Have a conversation about it first, and then go from there and stuff. If he tries to just play it off as like why are you so fucking upset about this shit, babe? Like it was just a joke. Like you're overreacting. Then,
But to
then it comes down
her-
to now you're kind of being a dick.
90% of Reddit problems can be solved through communication.
to her defense, though,
Exactly.
let's be honest here. She did have the reasonable pissed thoughts of like, I've never cheated on him.
Oh yeah.
I've never done
not
this.
disputing that.
I've never given him a reason. Like, all that is
Yeah, no, I'm not
definitely
dis-
like a reasonable thought process. But at the same time, depending on the tone he was using when he asked that question, could also determine whether or not she knew he was joking, or if he sounded too serious, or if he was trying to be sarcastic. Because I'm gonna be honest, if Mason and I had a kid, and he just came up to me one day, like months after having the kid, saying like, babe, you know, am I the dad? You know, like in that kind of tone, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be like, the fuck you talking about?
Right.
You put this little crotch goblin in me. You're taking responsibility for it.
Yeah. Yes, Pum.
No, I'm just thinking. Please tell me you said there was an update. Please tell me there's an update.
There's an update.
I want the more
I was
context.
gonna say real quick though, it's
Yeah.
when you make a really bad joke and you don't get the reaction you want, and you know it's a really bad joke, so you're like, I was joking.
Right.
I feel like
Right. That's
what
exactly what it's
happened.
like.
Like he
Yeah.
brought
I
something
think.
up and it was taken completely horribly. He's like, "Oh, it's okay. I was just joking."
That's fair.
What's the
People try to like
next-
bury it. Please, I need context.
So this is the next day. This is April 5th of this year.
That's fast.
So yesterday I made a post asking if I was overreacting to my boyfriend randomly asking me for a paternity test, and I got a bunch of comments that I meant to reply to, but more happened last night, so I figured I would just post an update here for anyone who's interested. My plan was to explain to him why I was hurt, and then ask him for his reasoning for asking for the test and why he waited 4 months just to randomly start questioning if he's my child's father. Or if it was just a joke like he said, ask him why he thought it would be funny in the first place. I just wanted a real conversation, but what happened was I told him how hurt and angry I felt and why, and he threatened to end his own life if I left him.
Wow.
I hadn't even threatened to break up with him or said anything about ending the relationship.
Red flag.
So that's a wrap on that. I will get him a paternity test if he really wants one, but the relationship is over. I can't be with someone who would try to manipulate me into staying with him like that. The plan right now is to get everything in order for me and my son and start looking for places to live. Thank you to everyone who read the original post and took the time to give me advice. A lot of you thought he was cheating and projecting, but I don't know if that's the case. Honestly, right now, I don't even think I want to know. I appreciate all the feedback. Sorry this is so long. It wasn't really that long, but that's it.
That
Be
went from
projecting.
like
0 to 100.
projecting. That went from more like 5 to 1,000. Huh? Brother,
It's like, okay,
huh? No,
Pum, look at me here.
That's.
I'm
you
not the
don't-
dad.
You don't go from like your wife.
So she
You
went,
are not
she
the
went,
father.
okay, Pum, I want you to be OP for a second. I want you to look at me and be like, I'm hurt, I'm pissed. Like, why would you ask that question? Like, all that kind of shit.
Why would you ask that? That was rude.
I'm gonna jump out the patio if that's how that fucking went.
Somebody call
That's exactly
CPS.
how that fucking went.
Someone call CPS on this man right the fuck now. Cause I'm telling you
Man,
right now,
That is a fucking child. That is not a.
I'm
man, that
telling
is a
you right now,
child.
I'm not the dad. Anyway.
Thanks for joining us on the Maury Show. You are not the father.
The father.
Jesus Christ.
That's the next show we should watch. We should see if we can find it on like Netflix or something or on Hulu, and we should just watch just random fucking.
I want to say you can get full episodes on YouTube now. It's old enough.
You say not the father. I don't think of Maury. I think of like that little alien blob that's in the high chair, and he's like, "Not the father, not the father."
Oh my god, you take that back right now because I'm gonna tell you that wasn't an alien. That was the dinosaur movie, and he had a frying pan. He went, "Not the mama," and I love the fuck out of that movie. That movie is so old, by the way. That is on a VHS tape.
But no, I
Bro,
feel like
half
he's
of our
projecting
audience
and
isn't
then
even
just
gonna
trying
know
to
what a
fucking
VHS
emotionally manipulate the girl.
Yeah, that's
That's fucking wild. Like,
I've been through that one too many times. The real answer is no. Just no.
I'm happy she got out, honestly, because like, and she's working towards getting out because that's not a that is a man who is going to set
Suri
their,
said
I
insecure.
hope she gets full custody. I hope she gets full custody. So
Yeah,
that
she gets
that
full
little
custody and he
boy,
never sees the kid again because
that
that's the
tiny
baby of the
baby,
fucking kid.
doesn't fucking ever meet his father.
I just want to know why the
I know
sudden
one day
extremes.
eventually- I know one day eventually that little boy's gonna be like, he's gonna be like, Mama, why haven't I met Dad yet? Your dad's a fucking psychomaniac. That's why.
See, I just want to know because it's not explained in the post
Yeah.
either. Were these newly developed behaviors? Like, was this like obviously child came into existence and that's where he was like, that baby doesn't look enough like me, so we're gonna completely go down a spiral? Or did he show these? Like, she doesn't explain it, so we're kind of just left to our own interpretation of were these
That's
behaviors
true.
that he
That's very
showed
true.
in the past of like kind of accusatory of like, are you cheating on me? Let me go through your phone type of deal. Because, like, from this post, it just
That's
sounds
very
like
true.
they had the baby and this motherfucker 180'd and was like, I'm not the dad, and if you leave me, I'm gonna kill myself. Or was this is probably a behavior that, I don't, like, that's a really big extreme. He had to have shown some kind of other red flags prior to this.
Well,
And with that said,
I
that's
actually
so
just had a thought.
contradictory. It's
I did
like,
just have a thought. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead first. Go ahead.
like Pump put it perfectly, and it's very contradictory. The dude doesn't believe he's the dad, but he doesn't want her to leave.
So I'm wondering, right? And I correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know for a fact if men can get this after shit, but if they can, could this honestly be some form of like a postpartum depression for the father of the kid after it's been born and everything? Like, to some
I
sort of like a degree, like he might now, like, by the way, in no way is this me trying to defend the dad at all for his actions or the way that he was acting or anything like that. It's just theory brain theorizing essentially.
I think this man needs to
But
get his
it's like,
vitamin levels checked.
yeah, or his fucking menstrual cycle fucking on
Well, okay,
check.
I only say that because I will find the stories on it eventually. But if your B12 levels ever reach like a dangerous point of being like super fucking low, it actually can trigger completely insane behaviors that you would not do if you were leveled. But that's a different topic for a different day. You are raising your hand.
think
I
saw a
searched
house
it up.
episode with that one time.
Is male postpartum a thing?
So, men can experience postpartum depression. It is known as parental postpartum depression, PPD, and affects around 10% of fathers. It can do.
Biggs, don't
it
get me on
can-
buying frogs.
PPD typically occurs within the first few months after the birth of a child and can present with similar symptoms to postpartum depression in mothers, such as mood swings, irritability, fatigue, difficulty sleeping, loss of interest in activities, feelings of guilt, and independence. Not independency. I don't know what the fuck.
Indecisiveness.
No. I don't know. And anxiety. So he could have had postpartum, But
'Cause
like it
was-
said, it's only 10%, which is 1 in every 10.
That's still like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
or
That's
10 in
just
every 100.
that's such a high extreme. I would love to
It
have more
is.
context, but thanks to Reddit, we don't typically get that sometimes.
Even then, with postpartum with females, it doesn't go that drastic most of the time.
Yes.
Most
you've also
most
gotta-
most of the time with mothers that have postpartum depression, it's usually the lack of feeling. Because you're carrying around this weight for 9 months and then it's fucking gone.
But
And
you do gotta
then
admit,
the thoughts start coming.
and see, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's where he's at right now, with it being like 3 to 4 months after the pregnancy, or like after the baby's been born and everything, and now he's starting to have these. Well, is the kid actually mine, or did she do something that I didn't know about before we actually got together, or like, and just the rabbit hole of overthinking and shit like that and everything. But at the same time too, the other thing I was going to say is, like, you got to think there are the cases that we've all watched one of our favorite fucking YouTubers do videos on them of like mothers that ended up having a kid, having postpartum, and ended up killing their own kid, and then showing like the regret and the resentment afterwards. But like in the moment, they weren't right in the head. They was thinking a lot of cuckoo thoughts, and just one thing kind of led to another. So like I said, no defense for the dude. He is being a major fucking red flag with the whole "I'll kill myself" blah 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 bullshit. But on that one kind of side is it could be very low chance, but could theoretically be that.
I was like, I don't
This
got
is
any
my
more
thoughts on it.
comments on it, but that's because like I think we lack so much context in terms of
That's
how
true.
he acted prior to this or like during the pregnancy, that I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know if this was something you were exhibiting or if this is just like a new development. Either way, the breakup, because that's weird. That's like just break up. That's the only comment I have on that.
Mm.
Anything else from
No,
y'all?
no, get out, get the kid out, get the kid out, and fucking get rid of him with that type of shit.
But you know what you shouldn't get rid of? Come here, come in closer. This podcast, hi, hello. You've reached the end of an episode. Kind of crazy, right? So listen, hear me out, right? Okay, cool. We're on Spotify now. We're on YouTube. This is an every week thing. Friday or Saturday, we'll hop onto Twitch for y'all, and you can be a part of the conversation. And if you missed it, it's okay, because on Monday, it'll be on YouTube and Spotify, where you can watch or listen and do your thing, and you're going to hear a lot of weird things, because we're not a normal podcast by any means. I do have a soundboard on here that I refuse to mute because I'm lazy.
Wear headphones when in public listening to us, just because of our
Please.
language.
Wear
We
headphones.
would not want to put you in that situation.
Wear headphones.
But thank you guys again for tuning in and listening and chatting, and we'll see you guys when we post it up on the other places, and links will be linked. You guys all know that. Don't forget that we have our new Reddit, so if there's a story that you want to tell or you find one that you're like, I want opinions, go and drop that shit, and we'll read it for y'all. And thank you again for Jay Buns for getting VR Chat Plus just to come half body tonight for us.
Just happens.
We will see you
We're just putting in
guys
the actual commitment.
next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.